Hey everybody, this is Christian with another episode of Sent, and as you can see, I have Sam Barnhart here from Bleach.
What's up, guys? I'm drinking tea. My voice is a little rough tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're gonna make it though.
You're gonna make it.
We're great.
Yeah, as you see, we're in a venue. We are gonna be able to see Bleach play for the 30th anniversary show. Isn't that something?
Yeah, because I'm only 27. So I don't know what. No, I'm teasing. I'm old man now. So yeah, we're so stoked though.
Well, I've been able to see Bleach a number of times over the years, and this is just a privilege to be able to talk with you today. After Bleach, you started doing ministry. We're going to start with just the ministry aspect before we jump into Bleach.
That's great.
You're now doing some pastoring.
Yeah.
What's been the adjustment for you, being from on the road to being home and being involved in people's lives?
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit of that journey for yourself?
Absolutely. So as soon as we got off the road, I ran a venue called Rocket Town, and it was all ages. It was Christian owned and operated. Michael W. Smith who owned it, or was he's who started it. He was the guy, the founder of it. It's a non-profit, so no one owns it, but he and the thing I loved about Rocket Town was it was a similar heart to who Bleach is. We were always kind of just trying to reach the margins and maybe the ones that are forgotten, and so we loved it. I loved that Rocket Town's heart was like, hey, we're the people who are working this venue are, we're Jesus followers, but the artists we were bringing in, we brought general marketing in, and our whole heart was like, hey, let's bring them in and like love on them and show them what it looks like to be loved on in a cool venue and like just experience a little bit of that, that love of Jesus that way. And it was awesome, and it was so cool to see that. But so I did that for a few years, and then we met in school at Kentucky Christian College, and we were studying to be pastors. So that was kind of our trajectory before we ended up signing a deal and doing that. But going into ministry was a bit of a natural transition, and so I started out as a creative arts pastor at a church in Seattle, and I did that for a few years after Rocket Town. So Rocket Town, and what I learned through Rocket Town was like it was kind of like being on the road still. I would go in at noon, and I would get home till like 3 a.m. So I was still not like, because
living a normal life.
Yeah, touring was because I had kids. We were pregnant with our second, and so I just needed to be home. Back then, touring looked like you went out we did 5 Iron Frenzies farewell tour, and it was like 70 shows, and I think we had maybe 2 days off or something in that whole time. So you would just go, So I knew we just all kind of knew it was time to move into other things. But we So I was at Rocket Town, and then I was saying we were at school and we're studying to be pastors. So for me, going into ministry was a bit of a natural transition. And so I started out as a creative arts pastor at a church in Seattle, and I did that for a few years after Rocket Town. So Rocket Town, and what I learned through Rocket Town was like it was kind of like being on the road still. I would go in at noon, and I would get home till like 3 a.m. So I was still not like, because
living a normal life.
Yeah, touring was because I had kids. We were pregnant with our second, and so I just needed to be home. Back then, touring looked like you went out we did 5 Iron Frenzies farewell tour, and it was like 70 shows, and I think we had maybe 2 days off or something in that whole time. So you would just go, So I knew we just all kind of knew it was time to move into other things. But we so when I was finishing up with Bleach and kind of moving into like what is the next thing, like I said, ministry made sense. So Bleach to Rocket Town, but being at Rocket Town was like kind of like being on the road still. So I needed to change again. So I kind of hit a season of burnout in that. And so I was the youth pastor at the church called Journey Church. Funny enough, it's where I'm served now. This is my second time at Journey, but I started the youth ministry 25 years ago, and when I stopped Rocketown, I resigned from my ministry position, and I ran a coffee shop for a year. I needed to do something different. I needed to do something where it didn't feel like I was working and earning. It was a confusing time for me, and a lot had happened. And part of our story connects in that is my mother had recently passed away in that time too. So there was a lot of like chaos happening.
Yeah.
So I needed to step.
And kids add to chaos.
Yes.
But it's beautiful.
So, yeah, it's awesome, and I wouldn't change it, but it was. I just knew I needed to do some self-care in that season, and so much in the way that I've always approached ministry. I've been bad at self-care, and I've learned the gift.
It's interesting you bring that up, because I was just preaching on from Proverbs, and it brings to your attention that it's good to seek counsel.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
If you're listening to this and you're going through some issues, the term self-care is a good term. It's not unbiblical. Actually, it's so biblical. And part of self-care is go seek counsel. If you're struggling, ask for help.
Absolutely. Yeah. Such good words, man. Yeah, and so I did that for about a year, and in that season, I was also just kind of open to like whatever was next. I knew that coffee wasn't going to be the rest of my life, but it was a beautiful space for me because I managed a couple of stores. I kind of was the district guy or whatever, and so I was really just with people, and but in a different way, and so. Because sometimes in ministry, you can look at people as like that's your job or whatever, and so that's kind of what I felt like was starting to happen. And so when I was, as I shifted out of that and into just seeing people as people, not a thing that needs to get fixed, right?
And not a number.
Not a number, yeah.
And that's one of the things that's frustrating is sometimes church gets into that whole numbers thing, and we forget about the soul.
Absolutely, yeah. And so during that time it was a beautiful season because I was able to just like I got to know a lot of people in a different way, just through sitting, and a lot of days would just be, obviously I'm doing my work, but at the same time being able to sit down with people, and for whatever reason in my life, I was always that guy in the friend group who, when people were going through stuff, they would be like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And so, I don't know. You feel that way? Yeah.
I have it happen in the grocery store all the time.
Yeah. And so, I think I started to understand. That hey, maybe this is what I'm being aimed towards. And so, I was there for a year and a half or so working in the coffee shop, and I got a call from a church out in Seattle, and they were looking for a creative arts pastor, and I was like, well, shoot, let's give it a shot, and we were just at that point, God had been doing a lot in our lives that last year and a half, so I think we were ready to kind of risk again. And so we moved to Seattle. At that time we had 2 kids, and we were there for about 4 years, and then my wife and I moved to Chicago and planted a church in Chicago called The Anchor. And while we were in Chicago, we had our 3rd child, and so I was about 40 years old when Rocky came along, and so I have Journey, Honor, and Rocky are my kids. And
didn't your oldest have a grandpa?
That's right. Yep. So I'm a grandpa now. Journey made me a grandpa. So I have a little Eden as well as my granddaughter. And
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, so fun, man. So fun. But we moved to Chicago to plant, and we were there for about 5 years, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful season, but it was also the hardest season in my entire life. And for me, it was the culmination of that. Of that season, like God was moving me to a whole different thing, and so I started to really. What I learned about myself, I was the lead pastor of the planting. I planted the community, and so I learned that's not my role. When the church grew, it was it did well and kind of a little beyond expectations at the beginning. And as it grew, my role started pulling me from this, like being with people, into more like, oh, I have to overseeing teams, and it's just the work of that. But I learned that was that I did that. The first 3 years were like really kind of grinding it, like with people, and like in the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And as it grew and my role shifted, I really started to feel burnout again. And the mistake that I made, maybe I don't want to say mistake, what happened was I stayed in that role a couple years too long, I think.
Well, could I ask a question?
Sure.
Did you take time off?
No. Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
So, if you're a pastor watching this,
Yeah.
the number one thing I tell pastors is keep Christ number one, keep family number two. And if you do not take breaks, taking a vacation,
Yeah.
taking a rest, you're not going to be well for your congregation.
That's
And so much burnout happens from pastors thinking they can't take a break.
That's right.
And if you're going to church, tell your pastor to take a break.
That's good. That's a good word. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because that's part of it. If you never feel like you get rest,
Yeah.
burnout's going to happen.
That's right.
Even if you have a heavy load, you gotta have a breather.
Yes, for sure. And that was a huge learning for me in that season. And I got to the point that I was like, I'm done. Right? And so, funny enough, the church that I work at now, Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee, was one of our sending churches. So they kind of helped me plant in Chicago.
Oh wow!
And so I went when I made the decision that I was going to resign. I went to Nashville to talk with the pastoral team there because they were very invested in what we were doing. And so I went down. I sat with them. We had about a 3-hour conversation, just a lot of tears, and they kind of towards the end they started kind of laughing, and I'm like, I don't know if this is so funny. It doesn't feel real funny. And they were just like, and they were having some side conversations. But long story short was, each of them individually over the last 7 or 8 months had felt like God had put my name on their heart and they felt like they were being asked to invite me back to the community to be a pastor in our church.
So what's your role there?
So well, funny enough, I said no.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
No, I said no for like 3 months. I said, like, did you not hear anything I just said? I'm done with church. I'm done. Like, I don't want to be a pastor anymore. Like, I wasn't done with Jesus, but I was done with like the,
As a profession,
yeah. And so I kind of they asked me what, and I was like, no, no, thank you. And so I went back to Tennessee, depressed and angry, and not angry at anyone, angry at just my situation. And every day for a couple months, the executive pastor at the time called me and said, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And I was, "Yeah, I'm sure, Gary. I'm positive." And so finally, after a while, I wasn't sure, but I knew I needed to say yes. And so it was the hardest yes probably I've ever said, because at that point what I was feeling and what I was doing, what I was saying yes to were not aligned. It felt unaligned, but it felt like I was being pulled that way though. And so Angela, my wife, and I prayed about it for a while, and just finally I said yes when Gary called me one day, and we moved back to Nashville. And for about the first year at Journey, so they brought me back to be the care pastor. So for that, it's pastoral care. I mean, it's just like a lot of sitting with individuals, and I do a lot of premarital care and counseling and pastoral.
And probably also counseling those who just lost a loved one.
Absolutely, through all kinds of situations.
Let's shift that direction.
Yeah.
So one of the times I got to meet you was after I had cancer, and you did something very beautiful. You spotted me in a wheelchair and provided me an opportunity to go hang with the bands up top in this loft area in Seattle Pacific University. And then you told me why, because you had just lost your mom to cancer. So you've experienced a lot of loss, and a lot of Bleach has experienced a lot of loss. And so,
Yeah.
what's some words of wisdom just for people who are going through loss? Because this is part of the human experience.
Yeah, yeah. And ironically, we were talking before we sat down, and the anniversary, my mom died 21 years ago yesterday.
Okay.
So, yeah, August 22nd. And so, yeah, and what's been challenging, so I had never lost anyone up to that point. Like, no one. My mom was my first, she was 54. I'm 52 now. And so there's a lot of, I've thought a lot about, I'm just a couple years away from where my mom was when she passed. And so, but my mom passed, and 7 days later her dad died. So my grandfather died, and they were the two heroes in my life. They were the two that. So my grandma lost her daughter and husband within a 6-day period, and then since that point, and this isn't to bring anything down, but
Actually, I think this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Again, that death is a part of the human
That's right.
experience, and it needs to be talked about. Sometimes people are
It's
scared.
going to happen to all of us.
It's going to happen.
So I think
I've come so close a bunch of times in my life, but God's preserved me. But eventually, everybody's time comes up.
That's
and,
right.
And we're called home.
Our number's up there, and so someday it's going to be all of us. But I just as I've kind of gone through each loss. I mean, I'm the oldest. I have a cousin who's 2 years older than me. We're the oldest men on our side of the family now, and so it was about a 10 or 12 year period of constant grieving, and my dad passed in 2019. I lost, so it's been a lot of just learning how to grieve, and I was sharing that I've experienced joy and grief as very, very close bedfellows, in the sense that in the hardest moments, in those most challenging, like chaotic, like I've also experienced this peace that that peace that surpasses all understanding, right? That we read about and we hear about in Scripture. And I don't think I knew what that meant actually until that season. The first year I came back to Journey, I just want to tie this in real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like I said, I had gone through burnout, and I was, there was still grieving. I don't know that I'd fully grieved even my mom passing away, and there was a lot there, a lot of work that I still needed to do that I don't think I was aware of at that point. And so when I went back to Journey, it's funny because they brought me back and they gave me stuff to do for a year, but I didn't do anything but heal and get taken care of loved on by our community in a way that allowed me and God's Spirit to do that work in me. It wasn't rushed. There was no expectation of here's how long it's going to take. It was just, we love you, and we see you, and we value you, and we value what God's gifted in you and He's put in your heart to do. And so just because you don't feel like that right now, we see that. And so that belief in those others, we even have a line in a song called December that says, sometimes you believe in me more than I do myself. And that line was ringing over and over in that season.
It's so true.
And that's what that year was, people seeing in me what I couldn't see in myself. And doing some hard work, therapy, and just counseling, grinding, just doing the healing work that I could do, after a year or so, I really had this kind of, it was like I woke up. I don't know. It wasn't even a moment. It was, I can't even here's when it was. It was just like there was this probably a few week period where it was just like the dark went that way, and I just felt like I just got thrown into like a new pasture land or something.
That's awesome.
So, and I've been grazing in that for the last 11 years now, man, and it's been so good. I am so thankful for our community. There's so much I could say about all of it. It's why my brain's won't, because I'm like, there's so many different things that I would love to share.
And I think because they were compassionate to you,
yeah,
you now have the ability to be compassionate to those who are going through loss, through struggle.
absolutely.
So
that's my hope. People loved me so well, you know, and I think how do we do that? Well, the biggest thing that I've learned through this is to be curious. Curiosity has the last decade, maybe I'll say 5 years. Curiosity has been my word. It's changed everything for me, and so because when we're curious, guess what happens to our judgy little heart? It tends to get squashed by what the Spirit is doing in that curiosity, that human that He loves and cares about just as much, right? And so, so curiosity has been this invitation to story and to like new life and to just new relationship, and it's just brought me to life, man. And you know where I learned that? One of the best, I didn't learn it, but the place that it really highlighted was that there's a show on Apple TV called Ted Lasso.
okay,
Which he's a soccer. It's like I was never a soccer fan, but this character, there's this scene. If you haven't seen it by now, I'm gonna ruin it because it's been out for a long time. So you got to go watch it. But this scene is they're playing darts. And this guy's kind of challenging Ted to darts, and he has no idea that Ted is like an amazing dart player, right? So he makes a bet with him or something, and he's just real judgy about Ted the whole time. He's just like thinking he's gonna clean him up. Well, at the end, Ted just dominates this guy, right? But he does it real humbly. It's not like Ted is not braggadocious. He's just this real humble guy. But the guy at the end says, "Hey, I didn't know you were good at darts." And Ted said, "You never asked." And that line right there I feel like the Holy Spirit illuminated something that was like this idea of our judgment shuts people down, but our curiosity opens up their heart. And if we would just be curious in the same way that Jesus was curious with every single human He sat with, He recognized the Imago Dei in every person.
Amen. Luis Palau was one of my mentors.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he taught to me in his office is remember to listen.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity one-on-one with somebody, be the last person to speak.
So good.
And it's such a beautiful thing to listen to somebody else's story, and then they're open to listen to the story of Christ.
That's it, man. That is it. It's like the lesson I think we're supposed to learn when we're little, but we all forget, and life, whatever. But yes, I feel that's curiosity. I think is the thing that has brought me back to the childlikeness.
And that's what we're supposed to come to Jesus is like a child.
Yeah.
Well, let's hop into Bleach.
Yeah, let's talk
people
about
are
it.
watching this are going, when are you ever going to bring up Super Good Feeling? When are you going to bring up...
You can edit all the extra
I
out,
know,
right? Yeah,
I know.
all the
No, but,
Yeah.
This is 30 years. And
Yeah.
what brought you guys back? Was it friendship? Was it the music?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah, it's been so fun just to be with my best bros doing this again. Like Davey and I live a block apart.
Wow.
So yeah, and actually, so right now I'll tell you so Davey and I live in Columbia, Tennessee. Milam lives outside of Columbia. Pete lives in Spring Hill. So there are 4 of us are all like within 10 minutes of each other. And Jerry, our bass player, lives in Brentwood, but he's going to be moving to West Virginia. It's where he grew up. It's where we pulled him from when we brought him into the band. And so he does IT, so he can work from anywhere. So they're really excited to just really invest in the community that he grew up in. He had a hard coming up, and so to be in a position now where he can like love on that community, really beautiful. And Jared, our drummer, is a firefighter in South Carolina. So some of our touring schedule, we work around Jared's firefighting. He's on 2 days and he's off 4. And
that's awesome. Which actually, your tour started with him saving somebody.
Yes, night 1, man. Night 1. we had played in Deep Ellum in Texas, and we had played a club there, and we were just, it was after the show, and Jared and Pete were walking around just because we used to play at a club called The Door in Deep Ellum all the time. So we were walking around to see like where it used to be. It's gone now. There's a condo on it or something. But so they were walking by this bar, and there was a security guy, and it looked like there was a scuffle kind of happening. And Jared, you know, being a firefighter paramedic, he was just kind of observing. Well, all of a sudden something goes down, and this guy comes up to him, and he's like, "Hey, did he cut me?" And when Jared looked up, the dude's neck was literally, I mean, like, I think they said 40% cut. So and so thank God Jared's right. And immediately Jared just goes like, he's like, "No, man, you're fine." Because the guy's like, "Am I gonna die? Am I gonna die?" And Jared's like, No. And so and he was able to close this wound. Well, the next day, so the dude, the guy had gotten stabbed. The guy, a bar fight had broken out. The security guy, where they were trying to get a guy out of there, and his girlfriend handed him a knife, and he went and just slashed a dude, right? I mean, and it was all Jared, the boys were right there. Thank God Jared was there, and the surgeons, the police, everybody, you know, we know the whole story now, but they were like, thank God that it was a sharp knife, like laser sharp, and that Jared was right there, because he should not be alive. Like, you only have a few seconds to respond in a cut like that. And so Jared literally saved his life. We got calls all that next week about that. And so, and of course, for Jared, I mean, it was a beautiful thing, and we were like, holy cow, like, to see Jared jump into action like that, it was so cool. And we're grateful. The guy's doing awesome. He went into surgery. He's great, and Jared and us as a band have developed a new friendship and have a new family out there in Deep Ellum with that crew, and we've connected with their fans. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
were they believers?
No. He's
an opportunity for the gospel.
The dude is like, he's like kind of a legend in town. He tours a lot of the punk rock bands, tour manages them. And so like everybody knows this guy, and so they did a fundraiser. I think in a week his medical bill was paid. I mean, the dude doesn't have insurance, you know. It's like he's tour managing somebody, and like punk rock bands, you know. So not like there was. So it was just this wild. That was night one. Yeah. So it's like, okay. It's just been this crazy, like, I don't know that we've wrapped our brains around it yet. You know, we've done probably 15 shows this year. Originally, the idea was, hey, let's celebrate 30 years. You know, there's no better time than now. Like, right now, like, Gen Z loves 90s music and the whole, like, the early 2000s, and it's just so. What's crazy is it's that generation that is bringing back all of us old heads. They're the ones finding our bands and going like, we want.
And Christian bands are coming back because that generation's coming to Christ. Forrest Frank and other bands have really brought the attention to Christ.
I think there's a real curiosity right now, and I'm so excited for it.
And another artist, Grace Graber, credits like bands like yourself and Reliant K for her coming to Christ.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, Grace is cool. Yeah,
Grace is cool.
Actually, we played a show in Nashville. I think she was either there. I think she was at that show. So I met her. I met Grace. I met her one time. She's a cool girl, man.
Knows how to punk rock.
That's wild. Like to see, like, I mean, as we're at these shows, so many kids who weren't born, right? They weren't born. Like we stopped touring in 2004, and so 21 years of us being gone. There's so many kids that are coming to shows and like singing all the songs, and like we were the soundtrack of their growing up because their mom and dad, you know, were fans, and so just to hear like the idea of that it can impact another generation, or that we have the opportunity to even just come out here and share a little hope, just, love on some people. Like, it's just such a gift, man. Such a gift. Awesome. Yeah. We're but the way it kind of all came apart, like I said, we're gonna do like, hey, let's do a couple shows maybe for the 30 year, and we all live pretty close together, and we're like the old man club on Thursday mornings. We go to a coffee shop and drink coffee together, and so through those conversations, it was like, we're all kind of at a different place in life now, and so we figured out a way to be able to. Dave always said, I feel like we figured out a cheat code to life, like to be able to do this some and to still be able to like be with our family. Like, it's just this really cool thing. So we're just excited to have that, the opportunity.
And you're releasing a brand new song.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a brief idea of what the song's about?
Yeah. So it's a brand new old song. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So what we did, we could say we're Taylor Swifted, right? So,
okay.
So all of our music is owned by Capitol. And if you've done any research on the music, on the record industry, you know that Capitol has made millions of dollars and Bleach has made not millions of dollars, right?
Yes.
And so, so our goal is to like, hey, let's take our song back, So we're re-recording. We did the first one we did is called the Fox Den Sessions Volume 1. Producer named Jared Fox, who's a good friend of ours. He'd been on Davey for about 10 years. Like, dude, let's record something. Let's record something. And so, lots of those kind of things happen. I say the kindness of people is why we're here, because it was like our friend Jared going, let's record. It's a world-class studio. He's a world-class producer, and for him to just say, hey, invite us to come. He was a fan growing up, and so it's just been this really, really cool thing. And so, we did that. That's going to be released. It's going to come out in October.
Okay. I'm going to put a bug in your.
Yeah.
I would love an acoustic album.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of things up our sleeves. There's a lot.
Okay.
I'll tell you this. Bleach is back. I don't know. It doesn't mean we're going to go tour 200 days a year anymore, right?
Okay.
But we're gonna tour as much as we're able, and we're gonna just continue to put music out. We've got plans. Next year is the 25th anniversary for the first time, so we're having some conversations around what that looks like. With this new release, the Fox Den Sessions, it's a couple songs from each record.
Okay.
So, redone, rethought, or just re-recorded, and we now own those masters. Okay.
Nice.
And so part of what's been it's just been really fun is all of our records, if you know our discography, we had different producers through the course of our career, and none of our records sound really anything alike.
No, that's actually really neat.
Yeah. Yes, and there's a beauty to that, but part of what we've always wrestled with is it never captured. There were, like, again, for the first time, there were some records that really captured, I think, who we are live, but most of the records, we were a lot more kind of live than what the record might hint at. And so,
especially the early albums.
Yes, yeah.
Were like audio A.
Yeah. And so that exactly. We say our first two albums were our demos, because we were learning what it meant. And so, what it meant to be a band, like how do you do this? And so what's been fun is to hear these songs, like to record these songs in a way that, we produced it with Jared, and so it's our songs, our way, how we originally envisioned them, and how we wanted them to sound. Not to say the others aren't. I think they're beautiful versions, right? But it's fun to kind of bring them into our pocket and go, this is kind of what we always envisioned, So.
What I think it's fun is now you guys are in your, I'm going to say it, 50s.
I'm 52.
And singing "We Are Tomorrow."
I know. We always laugh. We're like, we should sing "We Are Yesterday." We got to change the lyrics or give this song to some other young band coming up.
Oh, that would be cool. Have a younger artist.
That'd be fun.
Get Josiah Queen to sing it.
There you go. That'd be all right.
That would be awesome. So if you're watching this, they'll play.
Josiah.
Yeah, they'll play behind you.
Yeah, that's right. Y'all help me.
There's a secular band that does a song called Superman.
Oh yeah.
You know that song?
Yeah, 3 Doors Down. Is that the one?
No, that's Krypton.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
what's Mikey's other band? It's not coming to me.
Mikey Bridges?
No, Mikey from MXPX.
Oh. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's a funny song. You'll have to hunt it down.
Okay.
I'll probably cut this out. But there's a song about feeling like you're still Superman, but then you realize you're old.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, that's about right. Yeah.
Because once you hit this age, you still want to rock and roll, but your knees hurt.
So, yeah, look, I got a knee brace on right now. I literally do. It's like I've had a spinal fusion, like all the things, man.
Maybe I will leave this in.
Yeah,
It's the facts.
yeah. No, it is totally, dude. It's okay.
Our generation, we grow old, but we don't grow up.
That's right, man. Yeah, I feel we're having probably more fun than we ever had.
That's awesome.
You know, and I think some of that just comes with life and context and just I don't know.
So, what do the Bleach kids think? Because this is probably the first time they've seen you guys play.
It is, and that's part of what we want. Like, part of what we hoped for is this to be a family thing. It's not I mean, obviously there's shows that not everybody can come to, but like when we've been out east in Florida and stuff, our families will come, and so it's so fun, or whoever can, you know. Yeah, they think it's amazing. It's so funny.
So it's fun to probably see Rocky rock out.
Oh, he loves it. And Journey and Honor, my two oldest, they're our merch crew. They're the ones who do our merch at home. So they do all of our online stuff. And yeah, so they're all super involved. My daughter Honor just did a photo shoot with all the kids with Bleach merch, kind of. They're just like they're our models for it. So we're involved in just the whole family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And you know, one of the things that really I think has been so I don't know, just meaningful about experiencing this a second time, something I never thought. I mean, a year ago, I never thought we would be doing this again. It's just that I realized, like, and Davey talks about that he and I have had a lot of these conversations, but Bleach was never just like the five of us. Like, yeah, it takes people to play the music, but we always saw Bleach as this community of the friends that would come, you know. And we didn't say, like, we didn't call them fans; they were our friends, you know. And
well,
like,
I'm happy to be one of your friends.
That's right, bro. That's it, man. And that's what.
And that's one of the things.
matters.
When every time I saw the band, you and I would always talk.
Yeah.
And you would call me over. So I always appreciate when a band doesn't have a big head.
Oh, man.
And that's one thing that you can always say about Bleach is they welcomed everybody in. And so if you're listening to this and you've never heard Bleach, I feel bad for you. Go listen.
Go check it out.
There's going to be a link down below, and you can catch up on Bleach. And I'm also going to put a link down for Journey Church.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Nashville area,
come see
and you don't
me,
have a
man.
church, go check them out.
Yeah.
Sam will shake your hand.
Absolutely. I'll give you a hug. We'll hang out. Let's go get coffee. Whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
Sam,
great to
thank
see
you
man.
so
Thank
much.
you,
God
Christian.
bless you.
It's
I'm looking
awesome,
forward
man.
to this.
It's good to catch up.
And